Intentions. Something that is a central topic in magic, witchcraft, and occult communities. And there's a good reason for that. That's because intentions are the foundation of our spells and a lot of our rituals. And without intentions, it's kind of hard to practice magic, because what would you even be doing with your practice if you had no intentions? But there's something I want to talk about. And that is the sentiment that I see and hear all over social media. And that is, intentions are all you need. Intentions are the most important thing in witchcraft. Intentions are everything. And my goal with this video is to challenge that ideal and kind of make you think a little bit. Because I think a lot of us just go, yeah, that is true. That is all you need. Intentions are the most important thing, because we understand that without intentions, what are our spells even doing when we have nothing to drive them? But the idea that they're all you need, or that they're the most important thing, in my opinion, is misleading. And I want to talk about why. So getting right into it, first of all, let's talk about, what are intentions? Maybe you're new to witchcraft, or maybe your idea of intentions varies slightly from mine. But an intention is a thought that we aim to bring into reality. It's something that we intend to have happen. So if you're setting an intention for something like a protection ward for your home, you are intending for your home to be protected from negative outside influences. So if you're preparing to maybe hex your abuser, then you intend for them to have something happen to them, let's just say. So an intention is a goal. It's something you plan to manifest. Intentions are the very reason for our spells. So if you look at intentions as a seed, those are the seeds for our spells. But a seed cannot grow when left alone. You can't just throw a seed on a desk and expect it to grow into anything. It needs proper conditions and nourishment. That seed needs warmth, it needs light, it needs water, or it will not germinate. So in the same way, without taking the necessary steps, our intentions will not manifest. So an intention is basically a thought. It's just a thought until we put it into motion. So obviously, intentions require actions in witchcraft, because an intention without an action is really just a daydream, So obviously we know that our intentions are our goals. An intention is something we intend to make happen. And we talk a lot about setting our intentions. And a lot of people wonder, how can you set an intention? Basically, you set an intention once you've made up your mind that you intend to put it into motion. There's no grand spell or ritual or anything you have to do in particular to set an intention. It's just once intent is implied and you've made your mind up that you're going to take action on making it happen, then you've set your intention. The tricky part comes with focusing that intention and harnessing it and keeping that energy, because it's easy to let that slip and let that wane over time. So it's important to hold that energy when you're setting your intentions until you get the spell cast and you've released that energy. So why do I say that intentions alone are not enough? It's very simple. Obviously we have our magical life and our mundane life, but the two have to blend together. They're not separate. They work together in harmony. We know that intentions are the foundation and the seeds of our spells, but intentions alone are not going to make that spell come to fruition. I'm not saying there aren't people who manifest by, affirmations and thoughts, but we're not talking about that necessarily. We're specifically talking about magic and witchcraft. If you set an intention to become a brain surgeon and you intend to become a brain surgeon, that's what you're going to do. Do you think that intention alone will be enough to make it happen? No, it won't. You have to research what it takes to become a brain surgeon, and then research good schools and figure out, if you meet the criteria and what you need to do to get into a good school. And once you do, you have to do a lot of learning and studying and putting skills to work in order to graduate. There's a lot of steps that you had to take to make that intention happen. And you'll never hear a brain surgeon say, all you need are intentions to perform brain surgery. Now, obviously, magic and witchcraft and brain surgery are vastly different. But It's just an example, so work with me. So we know that intentions alone, they're not going to get you where you need to go magically, but they are the driving force. Our intentions encourage us, they give us confidence, and that's why they are so incredibly important. You still need your intentions. So, if they're not enough, what do you need to manifest those intentions? Well, there's two very important things you need in order to manifest your intentions, and those two things are knowledge and skills. Now, do you need to be a scholar of witchcraft? Absolutely not. Do you need to have years of practice under your belt to have developed the skills to make a spell even come to fruition? No, you absolutely do not. But you need to have some knowledge about how magic works, how witchcraft works, how spells work, and you have to have some amount of skill to put that into motion. That's not saying your first spell will be a miss. That's not true at all. But you learn skills through knowledge. And yes, a lot of seasoned witches have a very high success rate when it comes to spells because they've done a lot of studying and they've practiced. It's called a practice for a reason. And it's also important to know that every single practitioner has strengths and weaknesses, and learning your strengths and weaknesses early on will give you such an advantage later on down the road. So we talk about how intentions are important, the actions we take are important. So just like intentions without actions won't get you anywhere, actions without intentions also won't get you anywhere. You can't cast a spell without your intentions, and you need the actions to take to turn your intentions into a spell. The two go hand in hand. It's a dance. It's a balance. Something else to notice is you'll realize that I didn't say tools were one of the most important things in witchcraft. I said, intentions, knowledge, and skills. You need knowledge and skills to help bring your spells into the real world. But I didn't say you needed tools. Many practitioners will tell you you do not need tools to practice witchcraft. And I guess that's true depending on your definition. I would argue that books and resources are tools. So in that case, yeah, resources are a tool. You do need some kind of a tool to practice witchcraft in some way in order to learn. But if you're talking about cauldrons and wands and all that stuff, no, you don't need any of that stuff. But you will notice that pretty much every witch or practitioner that tells you don't need tools has a lot of tools. And that's because we understand that, yes, although you don't need them, boy, do they make things a whole lot easier. They help you focus and direct energy. And yeah, they just make things a lot easier, but you don't need anything fancy. You don't need hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars worth of things. I have cast quite a few potent spells using a cereal bowl, some dandelions I harvested from my front yard, and a stick. And that's all I needed. So in conclusion, when we say intentions are the most important thing, I think that's a little bit of a misnomer. And I think it's misleading. Because if you're a new practitioner and you're coming up in your practice and you want to cast spells and you're like, okay, all I need are my intentions. All I have to do is want for this thing to happen, and you expect results. And again, I'm not saying there aren't multiple ways to manifest things. I'm speaking specifically on the practice of witchcraft, the umbrella term that is the practice of witchcraft that means so many different things and practices. But you're going to need something. You have to create a vehicle. We've got intentions as the driving force. And then we have our spells that are the vehicle to take our intentions and send them out and leverage our odds and give us that little boost to help us in the mundane world. Because remember, it's a dance. It's a balance. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you are interested in reading more about this topic, I do have a zine, an e-zine in my Etsy shop that's all about this, all about intentions not being the most important thing. I go into detail with some other things I couldn't quite go into detail here due to time, but if you're interested, the link is in my bio. Again, thank you so much for stopping by. Don't forget to engage with this video. Subscribe, like, comment. Let's continue the conversation down below, and I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, night, whenever you're watching this, and I will see you next time.